What if you could bypass the police station and take your grievance directly to a judge? Well, in India, you can. It's a powerful legal tool called a complaint. Today, we're going to break down exactly how it works under the new Bharatiya Nagarik Sureksha Sanhita, or Bnss, and how it puts the power of the court directly into your hands. So, how does a simple allegation turn into a full-blown court case? We're going to follow that entire journey. First, we'll look at the two main paths you can take to get justice. Then, we'll define what a complaint actually is. We'll walk step by step through what happens when it lands on a magistrate's desk, explore the crucial choices they have, and finally, understand why this direct-to-court route is such a vital backbone of our justice system. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Imagine a crime has been committed. Now, the first question is, how do you bring this to the attention of the legal system? You're basically standing at a fork in the road with two very different paths you can take. The first path, the one we're all familiar with, is going to the police and filing a report. But the second path is different. It allows you to take your case, your complaint, directly to a magistrate. This isn't about informing the police. It's about asking the court itself to take action. And it's this direct and powerful path that we're going to explore today. So, you can't just walk into a court and say anything. Your complaint has to have certain legal ingredients to be taken seriously. Let's break down the official definition and see what actually makes a complaint valid in the eyes of the law. The law itself, in Section 2 of the Bnss, gives us a clear definition. A complaint is simply an allegation you make to a magistrate, orally or in writing, that a crime has been committed. But here's the absolute key. Its entire purpose is to get the magistrate to take action. That's fundamentally different from a police report, which is why the law explicitly says a police report is not a complaint. And the requirements are surprisingly straightforward. It can be as simple as a spoken statement. The core elements are, it must be made to a magistrate, it has to allege a crime, and this is really important, it can be filed by any person aware of the offense, not just the victim. You don't need a mountain of evidence to get started, you just need to make the allegation. A court case, Menika Bala Sarkar v. Surendra Chandra Malakar, really clarifies this relationship. Think of it like this. A complaint to the court and a report to the police are two different engines in the same machine. They're distinct, but they're designed to work together to move the justice system forward. They complement each other. Okay, so your complaint is filed. It's now sitting on the magistrate's desk. What is their very first mandatory move? The law is incredibly clear about this in Section 223. The process here is systematic, and it is mandatory. First, the magistrate officially takes cognizance of the offense. Then, they examine the complainant and any witnesses under oath. Think of it like an initial screening. Everything that's said is summarized in writing and signed. This creates an official record of the allegation from day one. After that initial examination, the magistrate is standing at a critical crossroads. They now have a few distinct options, and their decision at this stage will shape the entire future of the case. So, the initial hearing is done. Now what? The law gives the magistrate a clear decision-making flowchart with three main outcomes. Let's break down each possibility. The first option under Section 224 is purely procedural. If the magistrate realizes, hey, this isn't the right court to hear this matter, they'll simply return the complaint and point the person to the correct court. It's a simple redirection. The second option in Section 225 is for when the magistrate thinks, I need more information here. They can hit pause on the process. They can either investigate the matter themselves or, crucially, order the police to conduct an investigation and report back. This is a critical check and balance to weed out frivolous complaints and prevent harassment. And the Supreme Court in the Ramdev Food Products case confirmed this. The decision to order a police investigation is completely at the magistrate's discretion. It's not automatic, it's a tool they use when the facts of the case call for it. And the final option, under Section 226, is an outright dismissal. If, after looking at the initial statements and any inquiry report, the magistrate feels there just aren't sufficient grounds to proceed, they can dismiss the case. But, and this is crucial for transparency, they have to write down why they're dismissing it. But what happens if the complaint passes all these checks? This is the moment the case officially kicks off. If the magistrate is satisfied there's a real case to answer, they will issue process under Section 227, which means formally starting the proceedings. And what that process looks like depends on how serious the crime is. For less serious summons cases, the accused gets a formal invitation to court, a summons. For more serious warrant cases, the court can issue a warrant to have the person brought in, ensuring they appear. Notice the fairness that's built right into this procedure. It's not a surprise attack. Even before the summons or warrant is sent, the complainant has to provide a list of their witnesses. And most importantly, a copy of the actual complaint must be attached. The accused has a right to know exactly what they're being accused of, right from the start. Here's a practical point clarified by the Supreme Court. The magistrate's order to kickstart the case doesn't need to be a long, detailed essay. As long as it's clear from the record that they've considered the facts and made a conscious decision, the order is valid. The system prioritizes substance over lengthy formalities. So we've walked through all the steps, the sections, and the procedures, but let's zoom out for a second. What does all of this mean for you? What is the real-world importance of this private complaint mechanism for an ordinary citizen? At the end of the day, the complaint is a fundamental pillar of our democracy. It's your constitutional right to knock on the door of the court yourself. It means you are never solely at the mercy of the police to have your case heard. It ensures that the doors of the court are truly open to every single citizen. And that's the entire journey of a complaint. A clear, structured path from a simple allegation to the official start of a court case. I want to leave you with this final thought. Knowing that you personally hold this power, the power to appeal directly to a judge, bypassing other agencies, how does that change the way you see your role in the justice system? Think about that. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.